Hello and welcome to episode 48 of the Card Show. Almost at that big 5-0. I am looking forward to that. Would it be 5-0 to you guys? I don't know. I've got which way around it is, but either way. 48. Not much on cards this week, more about the sports, with a little bit of a release calendar talk about that, I suppose. But other than that, mainly sports, because it's been an emotional, how else can we describe it? It's been a fun week of sports, very emotional as well. If your team's relegated, your team won leagues, obviously we'll talk about from League 2 to League 1 to Championship as well, because obviously we've had a few results. We've got one left with the Championship playoffs this weekend coming. So, a big one, an emotional one. But more important, let's get into the episode. Pow! So we'll start with the Prem, why not? Wasn't the drama-filled final day we've had for the last couple of years, especially with Man City winning it. It's last year the whole 2-0 down there, or was it 2-1, something crazy, and they had to come back 3-2 the Gundo revival, superstar Gundogan. If it was one of them, I don't think Arsenal had kicked off by the time City were 1-0 up. It was crazy. 72 seconds, something like that. Phil Foden scored an absolute screamer. I think he took upon himself, didn't he, to make sure that City got across the line. And then, 16 to 20 minutes in, he scored second, making it 2-0. Things seemed to be coasting. Everton were at that time beating Arsenal as well. Seemed like a drama-less day, an undrama-filled day. I don't know what you call that. A normal day, I suppose, at the office. And then all of a sudden, I don't think they had a shot on target prior to that. I don't think they were after either, to be fair. Corner comes in, not very well cleared, and a supreme overhead kick by Mohamed Kudus, how you pronounce that one. Just powered it in from 7-8 yards out, and all of a sudden, you start thinking, ooh, right for our time, it's a bit tricky, Especially if you come out the second half, it's tentative. You might start hearing stuff on the ground that all of a sudden Arsenal are winning, and then West Ham scoring the 80th minute. So and you never know, do you? You never know. But although Arsenal did equalise just before half time as well, I believe, pretty much similar sort of time to Kudus' goal, City came out and sort of dominated, and eventually, who else but Rodri would score the goal that puts a nail in the coffin, keeping it 3-1, and normal business was resumed. He kind of stayed City in possession. West Ham not really offering too much, couldn't really get the ball or get out their own half too often, and a bit of a non-event, but typical pitch invasion, delays everything. It's for the trophy, but other than that, it was a glorious day in Manchester with the sun out. The sun was shining. Again, good for Arsenal to finish on a win. I think if they got beat by Villa, it sort of, it ended on a bit of a whimper, so it was nothing to win. And there was a bit of controversy around the second goal, the lead up to sort of a handball with Jesus. I think VAR should stay, but I think there needs to be a lot of work done, especially in off season. But yeah, throughout the next year or so, we need to get it boxed off as sooner rather than later, of what goes on with VAR and lines and guidelines, etc. So hopefully that can get sorted sooner rather than later, because I think if you look at goal line technology and how well that's integrated, we need to do something similar. With VAR, because at the moment it's just disgraceful. I think it'll end up being like an NFL sort of thing, where we're just going to go to sort of booth reviews in New York, and just 5-minute pauses every 10 minutes in games now in football. That's what it's going to be in soccer. So we don't want that. I wouldn't mind it too much if it was on the screens and fans could see it as well, and stuff like that. I think there needs to be better lines, angles, there needs to be a way of sorting that out. Because sometimes it's never like straight on. So, but hey, who am I to say these sort of things? Another news, obviously, Liverpool farewell to Jurgen Klopp ended with a victory, which is always nice. He stayed on the pitch, give a little emotional speech, etc., etc. Going to be difficult for Liverpool to sort of kick on, I think, I do think Schlott is a decent manager. I think the big thing there is going to be how much money they give him. I know people talk about the most expensive goalkeeper, most expensive defender, most expensive strikers. They do spend the money, but it's not like it's every transfer window. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. We know people like Thiago are leaving, and Salah may or may not leave. We don't know about other players coming into their final year of contract. We know they sort of brought in a new midfield this year, with Soboslai, McAllister and Gravenberch. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Arsenal, I think, are going to learn yet again from this. Back to back, losing by what point and then 2 points. They went too far. I think there's a lot of, I won't say hate, but disrespect on people like Kai Havertz. Was it 20 goals this season? He had a very good season for someone who's not classed as an out-and-out striker. Haaland scored 25, I think, in the Prem this year, 26. Golden Boot winner. I think I'm hearing like people like Watkins. I don't know if they need that out-and-out. But again, the defence is pretty much rock solid. I was thinking about this the other day, and leave it there. Let me know your thoughts, like comments and DMs or whatever. Team of the year, obviously David Raya got Golden Gloves, so you sort of side of him being in there. I personally probably would go for Emi Martinez. In my team, right back. As much as I'm a City fan and I love Kyle Walker. Ben White, I think, has been in a very good form on the right, and it's kind of a shame with the whole England fallout. Going to the Euros, you want your best team, you want the best English players possible to be in there, and in hopes of bringing it home. So that's kind of a shame. That one would be close between Walker and White for me. I possibly just side of Walker just because his pace gets out a lot of trouble, and he's won the league. Potentially do a double, obviously just coming off a treble. I think they've won something like 5 trophies this year, so that always gives you a little notch how well you're performing. Your centre backs is hard to look past the Arsenal two, let's be honest, of Saliba and Gabriel. Left back, obviously Robinson usually, but he's missed quite a bit of the season, being injured. I'd probably go Anthony Robinson from Fulham. I think he's had a very good season. I think he's got the most amount of chances created from, I don't know if it's left back or defenders in general. He's very good at taking people on, creating chances. So that'd be that. In midfield, I'd have Rodri, obviously. Don't think anyone better in that position. Possibly next to Declan Rice, I'd say. So, not a bad midfield. Not a bad one. You've got to then look at the likes of Foden, Cole Palmer. I possibly put Saka in there. Very English midfield, which is good. But yeah, Saka. Do I put Saka in there? Okay, I'm gonna leave that one for now. Probably I'll have to put Haaland up front. I'm gonna have to. Back to back, Golden Boot. That's not been done before. You think about all the great strikers we've had in the Prem over the years. I don't think anyone's done it. When I say back to back in their first 2 years. People always talk about it's acclimatising to the Prem, or even you sort of with Man City. It's like you have to get used to Pep's system. They always say it takes a year or two. You look at likes of Grealish, but he's sort of hit the ground running. He's just a goal scorer. He scores goals. I think Watkins was close. I think he was like the assist guy when he had the most assists or something like that. Which is again good for England, but sort of bad because it's always going to be Kane in front, and I think I don't know how well Kane and Watkins would do as a two, and how the midfield would look. So, but that's my Prem team. I know that I've got to put Palmer in there because I still think he's been outstanding. Foden's got to be in there because he's player of the year, young player of the year, and all sort of nonsense. He's an absolute baller. It's difficult to leave out a lot of them midfielders we do have, but I think Rice, Rodri would definitely be my two. Saka. Kudos has done well. I mean, there's probably people just shouting at the screen, aren't you? She's slagging me off big time. I'm missing someone massive. Daku's not done enough, personally. I do like him, but no. Who am I missing? Who am I missing? Saka. Odegaard's another one you could sort of say. I don't know. I'll move on, but let me know your thoughts and your team, your Premier League team of the year. As we got through sort of lots of teams got relegated, we already knew prior. I think it was a really slim chance of Luton staying up. It didn't work out for them. Forest obviously beat Burnley 2-1, and Luton got beat, so that was that one. So obviously the 3 teams that got promoted will be going down. If we look at obviously this year's championship, we're going to have Leicester and Ipswich coming up, which would be interesting. Leicester are, I believe, facing some sort of charges, or will be facing some sort of charges, so that's going to be interesting. We do have the playoffs this Saturday of Leeds versus Southampton, so that could be interesting, having 2 of the teams that got relegated come back up. Obviously we can't have the third because Ipswich are there, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes up and who goes down, and who stays up. Probably the most important one. Big weekend. I think if you asked me a few months ago, I would have said Leeds. They have been a bit patchy. Southampton could be a dark horse there. Be interesting. I have a friend that's a Southampton fan, so I'm going to go Southampton. Do you have Leeds fans? I don't know if I have any Leeds fans friends. Leeds fans friends. Either way, I don't know if I have any of them. So yeah, I'll go Southampton just for personal attachment. In the League One to Championship playoffs, Oxford beat Bolton 2-0. I think it was like 5 weeks after, maybe a bit more, but it was not long after getting smashed by Bolton 5-1, I think it was. So Oxford are up in the Championship, should be crazy. And then in League 2 to League 1 Championship playoff, we had Crawley beat Crewe 2-0. So Crawley in League 1 now. It's interesting times there. But now let's move on to other sports. We have obviously the NBA playoffs, and as of recording this, the Timberwolves, I don't want to say just because it's a few hours back, but have just beat the reigning champions Denver Nuggets. We've seen Anthony Edwards' prices absolutely skyrocket this year. This will definitely not harm it. I think he's showing he is him. He is him. He's balled out. I also think big men don't get the love we've talked about before on this episode of the card show. I've talked about it before on the Lookout, where we also look at the data of cards, prices, sales, etc., and times to buy in, time to sell, and opportunities. But he's turned into a really good, I don't want to say a lockdown defender, but he's into a top tier defender. He's probably one of the best shooting big men, so there's a lot of talk when, a couple of years back when they traded and brought in Rudy Gobert, like, what were you doing? And look at that, it's paying fruition. They're a big team with that athleticism, and it's for a young lad. Anthony Edwards has a really good leadership about him, and yeah, he is driving this team. It's going to be interesting. So obviously the Timberwolves will face the Dallas Mavericks of Luka and Kyrie in the finals of the Western Conference, and then over in the East, unfortunately, I won't say beloved Knicks, but I don't have a soft spot for them. MSG, Madison Square Garden, doing back-to-back nights there at the beginning of the year. They were injury ravished, and unfortunately cost them. I'd say. I think the Pacers, I don't say figured them out, but definitely changed after 2-0 down, and played more to their strengths, and really put New York in their sort of making them put their weaknesses. The shooting from Pacers during the first 3 quarters was sensational. I think it was like 70.8%. It was mental. So Halliburton, another one, showing that he is him too. Again, had a good start to the year. Prices went up, All-Star, and then I don't say his performances dipped, but I think he had a bit of an injury, and it just wasn't the him we thought he was. And I think he was maybe strategically taking his time, not coming in full force and saying, okay, we'll put ourselves in a good position. Also, we're there, we're in the mix, we're in there. I can rest up and hit again in a few months and drove his team to the Eastern Conference Finals where they'll play the Boston Celtics. I think the Timberwolves Mavs are probably a better series to watch. I don't mean that disrespectful to the Celtics or the Pacers. I just think that could be another Game 7 scenario because Kyrie and Luka are just clutch ballers, but Ant-Man Cat, Rudy Gobert are a very good team as well. And obviously there's the other players, Jaden McDaniels, etc. Just talking the battle of the elite stars in that teams. And then with the Celtics Pacers, I think Celtics are just hard to look past, aren't they? They have a very good team that always there or thereabouts. So that could be a probably good game. Maybe Game 6, maybe Game 6. But either way, I think it's gonna be fun for the fans. Someone new getting hands. Is it gonna be Luka's first? Would it be Ant-Man's first? Halliburton's first? Tatum's first? We'll have to wait and see. NHL. So obviously the Rangers again. Soft spot to seeing them at MSG at the beginning of the year. One of those back-to-back nights. They're patiently waiting to start their conference finals. The Canes 4-2 a week ago now, so we're patiently waiting. They will face the Florida Panthers, and that kicks off in I think 3 days of recording this. Thursday at 1 a.m. over in the UK. And the other side of that draw, we have the Oilers versus the Canucks. They are tied at the moment 3-3. As a recording, they'll play tomorrow at 2 a.m. And if the winner of that faces the Stars. So it's going to be interesting. Dallas Stars, obviously, again, the Rangers patiently waiting. They will play on the Friday. So obviously the Rangers will start on the Thursday against the Panthers. Very hopeful for the Rangers to get through. I think it'd be a tight series, but I'm rooting for the Rangers. Stars Canucks. I think the Stars might have too much room, unfortunately. Oilers, by the way, yeah. I shouldn't rule out the Edmonton Oilers. And they came back well the other night, 5-1. Especially had to lose in a few days before, like 3-2. So it's going to be interesting. They always say the Stanley Cup is I think it's the hardest trophy to win, apparently. So that will be an interesting one to see what happens there. Other sporting news, if everyone watched the event or maybe saw it the next day, is obviously Tyson Fury finally got beat. Usyk is him. First champion to have the ring belt, the lineal belt, the WBC, IBF, Jesus Christ, every belt. He's got one of my belts, Jesus Christ. Absolute stud, super talented, super hard working, and he did something that was, I won't say it was impossible because he actually did it, but seemed sort of improbable. You think of Tyson's height, weight, reach advantage, his boxing ability. On his best day, he should beat Usyk. He when you got that many advantages. Whether Tyson is past his bad day now, he talked about it after the Ngannou fight, and whether Usyk is coming to that stage as well. Was it 325, 340? I think it's 205 victories as an amateur, 15 defeats. It's a lot of fights, a lot of wear and tear on your body. 22 fights now as a pro, I think, 2 different weights. But somehow he's defying logic. It's not like he's a young boy. I think he's close to my age. I think he's 37s, 38s. But no, he's absolute talent and hard working athlete, and he is getting his just deserves, just whatever it is. He's getting what he deserves. I didn't really appreciate the comment about Tyson saying all his countries in war, so decided with him. I get it though, the emotions of being a fighter. I've never been a big fan of these sort of post-fight interviews. I think when someone's been in a fight for 36 minutes, you're physically drained as it is, you're taking a lot of beating to your head, to your brain, to your body. I think they should be allowed to go. And obviously, we know Usyk went to the hospital apparently, and so like they should be allowed. And the post fight should be the next day. Let them have all the checks and some sort of aftercare routine for them, and then allow them to talk. It's too much of a media circus, but it's the world we live in. Because I do think Fury would have spoken a bit better on the following day. Not that he spoke badly, but I just think he's someone who's obviously a man of God. He's someone who speaks quite highly of his competitors after the fight. I think just to throw that sort of marker where, even though there's probably no truth in it, people always go, "Well, yeah, well, you're right. His country's in war. He didn't do this. You sort of throwing the cat amongst the pigeons sort of thing." But I think people watched it sort of, more often than not, thought Usyk won. I think was it Javante Davis put a tweet out saying one good round doesn't win you the fight. And this is the subjective thing. The refs obviously are sat at different parts of the ring. They're seeing different things. Some will see shots land, and you hope things correlate. It'll be something that potentially in the future will be probably run out by AI, and we already sort of have the data of punches thrown, punches landed, and head to body shot conversion rates, and this that the other, and even intensity levels now of when they were pushing, when they were up to gas, when they were here. So maybe in the future it'll be a sort of an AI, it'll be a proper technical boxing thing where they go, this guy outthrowing this guy, 24 jabs to his 18, 26 body shots to his 4, and you go, he won that round. And it's going to be a case of, but did them me more than them shots? It's a very murky sort of area where someone can outpunch someone in every way, jabs, hooks, uppercuts, switching up from head to body, but maybe he wasn't the aggressor and he wasn't throwing the bigger shots. He was just bam, 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 just jabbing and throwing just to look at it, a bit busy, but they're sort of powder puff shots, whereas the guy could have been coming in and it's just boom, tight, big uppercuts, big hooks, dump, and powerful, impactful shots. So, it's always going to be subjective, and unfortunately, you just have to roll with the punches, as they say, and deal with the defeats. Or as I can't remember who said it, don't leave it to the judges. You don't get paid overtime. Go in there and try and get the fight done as soon as possible. So that way it's not up to the judges. I know you can always argue that it's up to the ref then, because maybe you should have stopped Tyson Fury. I personally don't think you should have stopped him. I think the standing 8 was probably the right thing. Could you have let you said, keep punching him? Possibly. I think it's difficult. You've got one or two options there. I think you have got to let Usyk keep going, and then say, right, you can't defend yourself, I'm jumping in and stopping it, or you've let him hit the deck and take the knee and do an 8 count and then. But you could argue the rope sort of saved him from going down, taking an 8 count. But yeah, it's a difficult one. You've got to look after the fighters as well. It wasn't like Usyk at the time was going ballistic, saying he should have let me keep beating the shit out of him. So it's one of them. And he made the fight go on longer, which was entertaining for the people that have paid to watch it, I suppose. So always has its pluses to that. Now on to new releases. This is thanks to Blowout Forums. Not much coming out this week. So on the 22nd we have Panini Select Basketball H2. We also have Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary Baseball, Leaf and Metal Pickleball. We have Panini Chronicles WWE later this week. Panini Clearly Donruss Football, Panini Select Serie A Soccer, Pokemon Paradox Clash Tin, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Twilight Masquerade 3-pack blister, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Twilight Masquerade blister pack, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Twilight Masquerade booster, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Twilight Masquerade booster bundle, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Twilight Masquerade Elite Trainer. And last for this week's releases is the Yu-Gi-Oh! 25th Anniversary Rarity Collection 2. So yeah, mixed bundle, not the best, not the worst. Obviously, depending on what you collect or invest in. But that is it. According to Blowout, I don't know if there's something that I've missed as well. It's obviously with a lot of sites now not doing the sort of release products, or you happen to go here everywhere for it. Not the best. Yeah, another card news. Also, we've got, is it Fanatics suing Marvin Harris Jr. So if you don't know about NFL, Marvin Harris Jr. has just been drafted to the Cardinals. I believe he signed with Topps prior in the Bowman University stuff. But now he's sort of refused, and they're sort of saying he's gone back on a deal. So it's going to be interesting how it plays out, because obviously he's not been able to make any money of his merchandise, whether it's clothes, obviously jerseys, etc. I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe you can, obviously, just buy a personalised jersey. Just buy a jersey, put Harrison Jr. on there. But yeah, I don't know how that works with sort of player sales, because let's face it, you could be Harrison Jr. yourself. And I presume that's how they sort of work off data of what people get paid and etc. etc. But either way, interesting one. With that, we'd be interested to see how this pans out. Does he then jump ship to Panini and help the product there? Because Panini do still have the rights this year, I believe, for NFL. For his year, so it'll be next year's, well, this season, but probably quite next year. It looks like a lot. We saw a lot of the QBs with Michael Rubin and Tom Brady. So Caleb Williams was there, Drake May, and a few others were there. So they're probably going to be Fanatics athletes. So again, it's going to be a bit of a weird year for NFL products, probably NBA products, and especially with this, like we talked about last week with the unlicensed stuff now. So yeah, it's not great. Obviously, had this year with Anthony Richardson pretty much carrying the products because he signed everywhere. Then he had the controversy of his auto changed. I'm not surprised he's just putting AR now, because he's probably signed 50 million cards because he's the only QB, with no Bryce Young, no CJ Stroud. So yeah, not surprised he's had this AR, just AR. I'm done with this. We'll probably have something similar next year. If Marvin Harrison doesn't work out this thing with Fanatics and goes for Panini, it'll just be his autos. I think it was the 4th overall pick. Oh, I can't remember something. I think it was the 4th overall pick. So yeah, I can see that being the one. If Caleb Williams and etc. will go Fanatics only. But yeah, that is it for this episode. I probably missed a few things, but hey ho. It is always next week. But no, take care of yourself, guys. I will see you guys soon. On to the next one. I appreciate all your support as always. Peace and love.